Hey everyone, welcome back to the Paragon Podcast. And today, if you're struggling with social media, we have the secret Krabby Patty formula.
Stay tuned. So Jake, you talked about this secret Krabby Patty formula that we have to help people, overcome their social media troubles. Where does that start? What is that formula you want to give out?
I think it just starts with people just struggling to be consistent and starting to post on social media. I think they need to have a game plan. They need a schedule. They need to come up with ideas so that they're not just burdened with trying to figure something out each and every day.
What do you guys think makes it so hard for businesses to stay consistent in their video content?
I think perfectionism is my first thought, is everyone wants to be the most creative person. They want to create the funniest videos, or they want to create a viral video.
Virality.
It's virality, right? There's no button we can push to just make this video go viral. So I think it's perfectionism and just they want to be too creative.
Right. Or sometimes the other side of that is I think business owners get in their own heads and they go, well, I know all this information, but they don't think other people don't know this information. So they go, I don't even know what to make. If a plumber is, he's like, plumbing is easy. And it's like, well, not to everybody else. There's easy things that you can do, easy videos that, people don't know, right? Freaking, I don't even know, for example, if you do hear, or see water, like where should you check, right? Underneath of a sink, right? Or how to even tighten things, it's stuff like that people don't know. It's like, I promise there's going to be a whole generation of people who don't know how to change a light bulb. An electrician can definitely do how to change a light bulb.
Man, that'd be crazy. Not even a light bulb. I mean, I guess because there are a lot of light bulbs too, so you could go. There's more advanced ones, I guess.
Lefty loosey, righty tighty, guys.
Well, listen, and this is the reason I say it. I sasaw a video the other day that was this dad going, I failed my kids, and the daughter literally had a knife halfway in a potato, and instead of cutting it, she was doing this. Trying to hit the knife through the potato. So, I promise you, people are not going to know how to change a light bulb. So, but that's an easy video. How to change a freaking light bulb in anything, in a lamp, in a light, in anything. So, just easy stuff like that. I mean, people get in their own ways and they go, "Oh, well, nobody's gonna watch that." When in reality, one of the most watched videos on, YouTube is how to tie a tie, and that video is trash. Trash. I mean, you can barely see that it's a tie. There's 2 pixels the whole tie, but it's.
But it taught me, so it worked.
Exactly. Right.
I'm still watching it.
every Sunday, gotta.
I forget. Damn it, how to do that full Windsor?
I mean, that's kind of how we are, though. I mean, I don't actually write, but there is some truth to that. Like, there's stuff I do where I'll rewatch videos and rewatch stuff just to make sure I'm getting it right too.
Yeah.
Because it's like I don't do it often enough, and so it's easy. It's like, oh, I'll watch this video again, and it's easier to stay on track with. So
yeah, you could try for 20 minutes, or you could watch a 5-minute video and be done. Yeah. So I mean, it's anything you can film, anything. And I think again, people get in their own ways because they go, "Oh, people know this. People know how to do this." It's like, 2% of people maybe.
I mean, I feel that same way with video production because I'm like, I watch a bunch of people that are content creators that will go on Instagram or YouTube and post a short that's 10 seconds long, and they're like, "Did you know this?" And they'll do some lighting technique or some editing technique. And I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. And being in video is the same thing. It's like, not everyone knows this and you're still learning. And so it's like, just provide all the value you can.
Yeah. Well, it's funny as we talk about this and we go, it's literally that easy. There's going to be a bunch of people that are like, oh, it is that easy. Let's make all these ideas. And they're going to throw together a billion different ideas. And then they still will never do it.
And so that's one part, right? Is making ideas and stuff. And people get excited about their ideas, but then nothing ever gets made. How do we progress from there, right?
Yeah, you have to freaking start making stuff.
But someone will make something one time, right? But then they're not gonna do something again. They made their content. They made enough content, maybe in one session, right? They took a couple hours and they were able to film 2, 3, 4 weeks worth of content. But then it falls off. How can they combat that?
I mean, we probably will talk about this, but scheduling, making sure we have consistency with that. But one thing I noticed even yesterday with someone that I filmed with, we did almost the same ad, but we did it 4 different times. or 4 different variations.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's how you test the waters with social media is don't just film an ad one way, film it multiple different ways and see what connects with your audience that way. So like you can create a schedule, you can create a batch of different topics you can film about, but you could do each video in different ways. And I think that also helps with like, you know, that consistency and also having the time to post and having more things to post.
Yeah. But I mean, going back to scheduling, I mean, it's funny. I mean, we work with, I mean, how many clients, and we've worked with how many clients over the years and stuff like that. And not to say, I mean, probably at least 80%, maybe 75% of people probably would never have made that content because it, you know, left to their own devices. Right. I tell people all the time, I'm like, you know, they're like, oh, I just don't know how to do it, or I don't know when I would do it. It's like, well, it's because you got nothing on the line. Nothing on the line, right? Pay somebody to help you sometimes, right? I mean, if you're paying for it, I promise you, you're probably gonna use it, right? But kind of going back to just the simple, you know, the beginning, you know, scheduling, right? Scheduling when you're potentially going to shoot this. Schedule, you know, put it on the schedule and decide that that's a hard deadline, right? You're gonna do that, and then schedule those posts, right? Schedule when they're supposed to go out. There's a lot of schedulers that will actually post for you as well, you know, and so like. You have to create the video, you upload the videos, but then that schedule or that poster will post that for you. So it's kind of, you know, you're automating that system.
So I guess I wonder, like, because a lot of people will have ideas and they get excited and then they make it, but then they put off because they don't have any more ideas, right? Do you feel like scheduling ever can help you come up with ideas? Like if you scheduled in time to film, like will it help you come up with more?
I mean, I think so, right? I mean, there's a few parts to this in my mind, right? If you're going to schedule something, you're probably going to put the time in to figure it out, right? That's the one thing, right? If you're gonna actually do it, I think you're actually gonna do it. But I think that if you schedule even the types of videos that you're going to make, and we might talk about this in a little bit, but or maybe this is the perfect segue, you know, kind of creating these buckets or these videos, these types of videos that you're going to make. And so you're scheduling what types of videos go out on which day, right? And you know, just for example, you know, the different types of it, you know, you could do information / frequently asked question videos. You could do education videos. I mean, there's a few of them, behind the scenes case studies. That's if you plan for frequently asked question videos to go out on Mondays, you know, behind the scenes to go out on Fridays, you know, then you can plan those types of videos that you're going to film those types of videos because you already know when you're going to post them. You know, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. So it almost sounds like you're saying start from the end though, right? Start with, hey, I'm going to post an FAQ video on Monday, right? On Mondays. And so then you're saying, okay, well then I know, all right, if I have to have an FAQ video on Monday, on, you know, a Monday from now, I need to film this many, right? And that's almost what you're saying is start from where you want to post and then schedule backwards, right?
Yeah.
And that can almost help you come up with your ideas and make you actually make that content and stuff.
I think there's an easy way is pay attention to your clientele and your customers, right? You're having conversations with them every day. You're finding out what questions they have. They're finding out their needs. And so you making videos, your potential customers, those are the people that you're trying to reach on social media. They probably have the same exact questions or problems, or they're confused about something. And so paying attention to your customers each and every day, you're going to come up with ideas. Have a notebook, have your phone right next there on your notes and just start writing them down. Just be like, oh my gosh, that's a great question. Write it down. I'm going to create a video about that. And again, it doesn't have to be a 2-3 minute explanation. It could be a 15-second video that's just a simple trick or tip or
but if you know you're going to do a tip and trick every Wednesday, then
it helps you prepare to know when to film.
Yeah. So then when you have those ideas come to your mind, it's like, oh, write that down. And then if you're going to film every Friday, then it's like, boom, boom. I had these 10 questions that came up with throughout the week. Boom. I can get 10 videos, 10, 15 to 30 second tips. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it's also repurposing too.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, is you can create the same video multiple times. Like I've seen people that will create content and then they'll get 200 views, and they'll just change a little bit about the video, post it 3 months later, and all of a sudden they're getting a bunch of views and more leads and make more money. And so it's like, if one video doesn't work, that doesn't mean that concept of that video doesn't work. It's the message behind it. It's the hook. It's the
how it was
portrayed put out there. Yeah.
Yeah, the video that's behind it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I see that all the time too. Kind of like one of the guys that I like to watch a lot. It's like every 6 months he has a video about hooks. Every 3 months he has a video about kind of what the social media changes and stuff. And he has that kind of like pattern that he's always following. And each video is different, right? And it's refreshed and stuff, but it is like similar every time. And so yeah, that's true that you can just kind of you don't have to come up with brand new, completely original ideas that are going to blow people's mind every time. It's more about constantly posting and knowing not every video is going to be seen by every person. And so each time you post a video, you're reaching out to someone new, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
One thing I wanted to mention too is someone trying to come up with a crazy idea that's not going to help you unless it goes viral, right? But that's the 1%. But it's like creating something that's so creative. Social media is like, what are you doing? So you post a video and the algorithm doesn't even know what you're doing. And so that consistency and doing the same thing over and over and over again, social media is going to start pushing your content and going to know who to push it to. But if you're just coming up with this random, even if it's funny, like funny videos are great, but if you're coming up with this elaborate big production that took you all day to shoot an ad and you post it, social media is like, where am I sending this? Who is this for? And so that's the problem with these big productions is like social media nowadays is like, if I don't know what you're talking about, I'm not going to push your content.
Yeah. Well, it's again, kind of going back to one of our previous podcasts, it's about staying consistent, right? A plumber, stay on, beat that dead horse over and over and over again, or an electrician beat that dead horse over and over and over again till the social media knows you're an electrician, right? And so, and sure, you can post every once in a while, an office party, right? That's not really going to screw up the algorithm, but every other post should be something about what you're doing so that the AI, the bots, whatever, can crawl that, and then there's no question on what that's about.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
Just keep it simple, basically.
Would you kind of talked about having buckets of content, right? What is there an ideal amount of buckets you feel like a business should have that they're trying to push? Should they only start with one bucket? Should they start with 3 buckets? Like how does someone start creating buckets of content?
I don't know. I personally think that they should have at least 2 or 3, like at minimum, because education, frequently asked question videos, not even behind the scenes. I mean,
testimonials.
But like testimonials are a great one. Case studies, results, right? Or like
so let's just take like the first 3 that you said, right?
Or,
you had educational, so kind of just talking straight to like, hey, how to do something, right? Or how your product's going to help someone. And then the next one you had FAQs, right?
So last questions, right?
And the last one you had testimonials, right? So if someone wanted to go about, okay, those are the 3 buckets that they kind of want to do. Let's talk about, okay, let's schedule this out for someone. How could they go about doing that?
I mean, again, I think just doing it, right? Like,
I mean, okay, so testimonials, you're probably not going to have quite as many testimonials as you can put out educational, right? And so you're not going to say, okay, I'm going to do one of each every week per se, right? If you have that many testimonials, you could almost probably be doing twice as many educationals, right? Right. Or maybe you're doing a testimonial once a month just so you're filling up the testimonial. Because I don't think that testimonials necessarily, unless like they're super high production, get lots of like traction per se. Yeah, no. They're really good for someone comes to your channel to verify that you're a good company. They're awesome to have there. They come to your website. A video testimonial really gives authenticity to who you are, right? But they're not necessarily going to blow up online, right? People aren't searching for testimonials, right? And so if you're creating one a month though, boom, that's great. But then how-to content, are you trying to push out one a week, one every other week, and then FAQs you're doing also one a week? I'm trying to figure out like how could someone realistically take what we're saying right now, and create a content schedule.
Well, I think and kind of to your point, I mean, different videos are going to be, the amount's going to differ, but like frequently asked questions, I mean, there's a ton of questions that you're probably asked. And so like literally sit down and film all of them, like as many as you can think of, right? And even if you don't post them right away, right, you'll have them in your library, right? I remember watching this YouTuber that he was being interviewed by somebody, and he's like, well, how do you come up with all of your crazy ideas? And they sit down once a month and they come up with just ideas after idea after idea. And he showed the back of his door. They had like one of those little card holders, with and it was filled. I mean, filled, right? But they don't film all of them either, right? They sit down, they batch content, they put them all together as the ones that they think are going to be great. But then they probably still had terabytes of video that they never actually did anything with it yet, right? So I think it's just picking, like kind of like you said, testimonials, you get them when you do, right? And if post them when you have them, right? I think that's honestly, I think you should do that. But
well, and I think you can make
batch a
goals.
bunch of them.
I think you could make goals with testimonials, right? Like, again, it'd be hard to go through and just get 10 testimonials to post a week or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think, especially if you're getting reviews already online or anything, you could reach out to people that gave you reviews, or if you just know customers, right? Like most people know a good handful of customers, right, that they could reach out to and they'll say, yes, absolutely, I'll do a testimonial. You guys are the best, right? And so I think that you could still set a goal, and if that's quarterly, if that's monthly, whatever that is, you could set a goal. Hey, we're gonna have a testimonial each month, and that's what we're gonna do. That's one of our big focuses. And then, like you said, you could have a lot of this content, the stuff that's bigger. Set a goal though for how much you want to post. Right. And I think that's kind of what I want to get at is it almost what you were saying towards the beginning. Go from how much you want to post.
Right.
Boom. If you want to be posting that FAQ every week and then come backwards from that, and then if you can film a ton, then you only have to film quarterly or something to post all that FAQ.
Right.
Awesome.
Yep. Maybe you just have to film less. Another idea though, which I just had, instead of getting other people to say their own testimonials, read off reviews. Amazon's doing that right now and is making a freaking killing.
Yeah, those are. I mean, having Benedict Cumberbatch read reviews,
but you still could read. You still could read reviews, though.
Yeah,
there's
no,
other ways that you could do that.
You can,
and then now you're still having testimonials that are just,
Yeah, I mean, we've had a couple clients actually do that as well too.
It's a good idea.
So.
Yeah, and if you can hire Benedict Cumberbatch, yes, do that.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
And you might get a lot of views, but does that help build trust? Because the company or someone is reading the reviews, right?
Yeah, I mean it's still a review. Put that review on screen. I think that's a great idea.
I mean, I guess you could.
Yeah, I was highlighting what other people have said.
Yeah.
But anyways, just ways that you can get more and more content, right? And I guess I think the moral of the story is just try to do as much as you can when you have the time, because business owners, they're wearing a billion different hats, and so set apart the time once a month, once a quarter. Have goals to film this many and start paying attention. Start paying attention to the things that your video bucket that are in your video bucket, so that you can start getting those ideas and then film them. Those information videos, those frequently asked question videos, those are so easy to film because you don't need a ton of B-roll, right? I mean, sure, B-roll would make it great, but you literally could just be a person on a screen talking with text. And that's so easy to make, so easy to put together. And so, those videos are so easy, you should make a ton of them.
Well, go along with that is, I think it depends on what type of business you are. Because if we're going back to like plumbers or trades or construction or whatever, you're on jobs all the time, most likely. You're doing something. And so it's like, just grab your phone. It comes back to big production or value. And so it's like, pull out your phone. If you see something when you're plumbing, pull out your phone and be like, hey, quick tip today. If you notice this, do this. Right? And again, you're filming on your phone. It takes 10 seconds. Instagram, you can literally add captions to your video and post it super quick. And so, again, it depends on what kind of business you're in. Because like Tyler said, is some people just don't like the time. It's hard to get that time to start filming. But if you are in certain businesses like plumbing, or you're on the job site all the time, it's like it's pretty easy. Just pull out your phone. Don't think about, oh man, how do I look on camera? The lighting is terrible. Like, as long as they can hear you and you're providing value, people will listen.
Well, a lot of times people also think kind of a downfall is, time is money, right? And which I get it. Yes, time is money, but having Frank, the drywaller, take 30 seconds to answer a question, did that really slow him down that much, you know? And so, you know, using the, you know, your workers go around and ask questions. I mean, a lot of that content is really great on social media, right? Is their workers answering questions and stuff like that. The owner or the marketing person asking questions. And so, I mean, you know, you kind of get out of your own way, I think.
Yeah. And I think a lot of what you guys are saying comes down to like why is a business making video anyways, right? Like if you ask most people why they're on social media, it's not to find a business, right? And so, but yet still everyone's telling you need to be making videos as a business. And so there's a reason for it. And it comes down to you want to show like authenticity for who you are. You want to build like trust through education, through any ways that you can add value to someone, right? And so if you can find a way to consistently do that, then you'll actually find an audience, basically.
Yeah.
And so the last kind of thing that I kind of thought of as we've been talking is a lot of time I find creativity, especially for me, if I have just a giant sandbox, I really struggle. But when given constraints and given, hey, you need this to fit inside this, I'm able to bounce around the walls inside the tiny box and come up with a lot more. Mm-hmm. And so when you schedule it, when you say, I have this, I have to do this by this time, you're going to have a lot more ideas, I think, in general. And so, and yeah, some of them may not be the most original ideas, but in the end, that's not what making video content for a business is for, right? And so that's kind of the last thought that I had. Anything else you guys want to share about kind of scheduling and creating a content schedule for, and how that'll help improve a business?
Well, I just think don't get out of your own way, or, you know, or whatever. I mean, I think that, you know, searching for virality is not the way to go. It's creating consistent content that is going to help people, right? Information videos, frequently asked questions, you know, that's kind of been the theme. I mean, just freaking make them, right? I mean, you schedule out your time, use the bucket method, film as many as you can, use ChatGPT. You know, I promise you say ChatGPT, give me 20 videos, it'll spit out 20 videos in a heartbeat, right? And so, like, but kind of don't think that you're above it because you need to do it, right? I mean, if you're not creating video content, you're invisible, right? And so you have to create that, you know, especially with where things are going nowadays. So
the only thing I would say is don't reinvent the wheel. Just do things that work, right? Everyone's on social media nowadays. If you see something that's in the same industry that you're in and you're like, wow, that video worked for them, just copy it. Mm-hmm. Do it in your own way. Do it in your own company. And it's just like, it's working. Why change it? Mm-hmm. Right? And that goes back to, I don't, you know, I want this big production. I want this commercial because it's going to be really good. It's going to give me a lot of leads. I'm going to sell my product quicker. It's like, okay, no, that's not working. Find something in your industry that's working and just keep doing it. Schedule things, come up with ideas. You don't have to come up with these elaborate ideas. Like we said, it's frequently asked questions, it's how-to videos, it's tips and tricks, it's testimonials. Very basic videos, but they provide more value than anything else.
Cool. Well, thanks, guys, for joining us in the Paragon Podcast, a video marketing podcast where we're just trying to talk about everything video. So it's good to have you with us. Thanks.